So this is just some additional practice for clearing fractions. So when we clear fractions, remember step one is that we are going to get a common denominator. Of all the denominators that are there, we're going to get a common denominator. Okay? And step two is that we're going to multiply each term by the common denominator. Okay? Okay, so looking at number one, we want to find the common denominator, and we have a denominator of 10 and we have a denominator of 5. So what's our common denominator? Our common denominator is 10. So now what we're going to do is we're going to multiply every single term by 10. Every term by 10. Every term by 10. Because what we're doing mathematically is that we're multiplying each side by 10. And remember, here are our sides. So this side gets multiplied by 10, because whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 10. Well, on this side, we would have to be distributive. So instead, we're just going to multiply each term. We're going to distribute it at the same time. Okay? So here we go. Multiplying each term by 10. And what's going to happen, remember, is that here there's a 1. So is there anything that cancels with 1 going to 10? Nothing happens. I just multiply. So I come up with 10x minus. Now look, here we have 2 over 1. Again, nothing cancels, so you just multiply. So you're going to get 2 times 10, which is 20, minus. When I have a 10 here, my 10s will cancel. Divide down to 1 is what actually happens, and I get x. And here, I divide by 5, and I get a 2. So I take the 2 times the 3, and I get 6. Feel free to pause and watch that again. Now we're going to do what we know how to do. We're just going to combine like terms. 9x is equal to 6. Add 20 to both sides. We get 9x is equal to 26. Divide by 9, and we get x is 26 ninths. 26 ninths. 9 is only divisible by 3 and 9. Neither one of those go into 26. So that's a fine and dandy answer. Now on number 2, we're still going to do the same thing. What's our common denominator? Well, we only have a denominator of 3 and 5. So our common denominator is 15. So we're going to multiply every single term by 15. Oh, wait, or hold on. We can just get rid of that fraction to begin, and we can multiply by 15. So we have two options here. We could distribute first, or we can just multiply. So I'm going to show you both ways. If I just multiply by 15, my 3 and cancels, and I have a 5, so I'm going to get 5 times x minus 2. And here my 5 cancels, I get a 3, so I get 9. So that's one option. The other option that I can do on this is I can start instead by multiplying. You know what? I shouldn't have done that. Oh well. Okay, I did it now. I won't do that again. I should have multiplied. I can multiply through by, I can distribute. So 1/3 x minus 6 is equal to 3/5. Now I can multiply by that common denominator 15. So I can do it either way. And now I'm going to get my 3 cancels, so I have 5x minus nothing cancels there, so 6 times 15 is 90. Here my 5 cancels. 5 goes into 15 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. And then we solve that equation. Now you'll notice that over here, it will work out to be the same thing. So I went back and wrote this as if I was going to multiply each side by 15. So here I'm going to cancel. Here I'm going to cancel out a 3 and I get a 1. Here I get a 5. So that's 5 times x minus 2. Here I'm going to cancel out a 5, and I get 9. Okay, so which is what I had. So my mistake was here. Okay, if I take 1/3 times 2, I get 2/3. not 6. Again, don't do math too late at night. It does not work well. Okay, so now I'm going to multiply by 15. And now this is a different answer. So I'm going to get, cancel out a 3, cancel out a 3, I get a 5, so I get 10. Okay, now notice the equation on the right is the same as the equation on the left. 5x minus 10 is equal to 9. And you're just going to solve that. I'm not going to take the time to go through that with you right now. I think you can solve that equation. So another type in clearing fractions is that if we have to look at more than one denominator or two denominators to see what will happen. Okay, so number 3 is just like what we were doing. So I'm going to pause. You're going to try that one again, and I'll show the 2 different ways, whichever one you want to do it. I'll let you choose which one, okay? So go ahead and do number 3 on your own. So I realized I should probably be talking through this one again too. So here I distributed. Okay, and then here I'm going to cancel out the 4, so that gives me 6x. Here I cancel out the 4, divide by 4, and I get 1, and that gives me 3. There's nothing to cancel here. There's nothing down here. So that means I'm just going to multiply 2 times 4 and get 8 and solve that equation. Now over here what I'm going to do is I'm going to show it is that I'm going to get rid of the fraction to begin with. So I'm going to take the whole thing. So this is considered one term right here. Okay, that is one term. So if I have that as one term, I can just multiply this front one. It's going to multiply everything. So now I'm going to multiply by 4. That's my common denominator. Okay, and when I do that, I'm going to nothing. Okay, go away. So nothing cancels on this side. I have 2 times 4, and I get 8. Here my 4 cancels, and I have 3 times 2x plus 1. When I distribute, I'm going to get 6x plus 3 is equal to 8. And you'll notice it looks just the same as this side. I'll let you finish that on your own. Number 4, what we're going to do on number 4, I'm just going to do it one way. I'm going to find my common denominator. My common denominator, we'll look at 3 and 9. Right, it would be 9. So I'm going to multiply every single term by 9. And when I do that, I can cancel out a 3 here, cancel out a 3 there. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. Nothing to cancel here, so just take 2x times 9, I get 18x. Here, I can cancel out the 9s. Take out a 9, divide by 9, divide by 9, I get 1. 1 times negative 11 is negative 11. I can combine like terms, and I'm going to get negative 33x is equal to negative 11. Divide by negative 33. And I get x is equal to 1/3. Okay, good. Okay, these are the last 2 we're going to look at. So we're going to start off the same way. What's the common denominator? So if I want a common denominator here, hold on, there we go. Sorry, the common denominator here would be, well, I have 2 and I have 5, so my common denominator multiplied by 2 is 10. So every single term multiplied by 10. Every single term. Okay, so here we go. I can cancel out a 2. Cancel out a 2, I have a 5. 5 times 7 would be negative 35x. Minus, I can cancel out a 2, divide by 2. Divide 10 by 2, I get a 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Plus, nothing to cancel. I just have 2x times 10. Which gives me 20x. On the other side, I can divide by 5, and I take 17 times 2, and I get 34. Combine like terms, I get negative 15x minus 25 is equal to negative 34. Okay? And solve that the rest of the way. So now, on 6, I have a 2, I have a 3, and I have a 9. What would be my common denominator? Hopefully you said 18, okay? 18 would be my common denominator. So every single term, you have one in your homework that has a huge number. I think it turns out to be like 120 for my common denominator. Don't let that freak you out. You have a calculator, you're fine. Okay, so now I'm going to divide by 2. Divide by 2, I have a 9. 9 times 3x is 27x. Plus, I divide by 3. Divide by 3, I get a 6. 6 times 4 is 24x. Divide by 9, 2 times 85. What is that, 170, I believe? It's 170, yay me! Now we're going to combine like terms. And we get 51x is equal to 170. Divide by 51. Divide by 51. And we get that x is equal to 170 over 51. Let's see if they're both divisible by 3. I don't think 70 is. Nope. I think that's our final answer. Okay, that is just 6 more problems on clearing fractions. Hopefully that will help with your homework. Thank you.